In October 2014, a consultation on police and HIV took place in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. The following interviews are with some of the country focal points of the Law Enforcement and HIV network, each of whom is a serving or retired senior police officer, and each of whom is committed to ensuring that the police make a positive contribution in their countries and the global HIV response. Why do you think the involvement of police is important in the HIV response?
The involvement of the police is very, very important because basically the police seem to be a main barrier for harm reduction, policy implementation. However, if the police support or maybe civil society, NGOs or public health sector to deal with HIV epidemics, it will help our global community a lot in terms of fighting against HIV epidemics.
The police have a role to play in the prevention of HIV. They are part of the community and they have a say in the community. The community believes them and takes them as allies when it comes to issues touching the law. And you see, it is our responsibility as policemen to protect and serve everybody. It doesn't matter whether you are a sex worker, whether you are a criminal of any kind, you are supposed to protect and serve.
The key populations as drug users, sex workers, MSM and other maybe migrants are very vulnerable groups, and the police often interact with these groups. These groups are often afraid to contact with police and with other public health care organizations. But the need of harm reduction is very important for prevention of HIV. And so if police change his attitude to these groups, I think that it will be better conditions to help these people.
Police is usually respectable by the civil society. If policeman says that's good, the majority of population will trust that this is good, and vice versa. That's why it's very important that police should not concentrate its activities only just on crime and punishments. Police should understand that there is a group of vulnerable population, and police is capable to redirect the offender or representative of this population to the treatment or other services.
In your experience, what is the biggest challenge in getting police involved in the HIV response?
In my experience, the biggest challenge is change to police attitudes about key populations.
In our country, most police person is working regarding crime control and investigation, supervision, and working with other laws. But most of the police officers, they don't know regarding the HIV/AIDS persons. My big challenge is to avert our police people that they are committed crime, but they are not the criminal. We can rehabilitate them, we can avert them, so we will give them the legal support.
In my experience, the biggest challenge we're facing so far is the way HIV has been presented as a moral issue. And therefore, most policemen put on their moral cap in enforcement. And I always try to say that we should separate morality, issues of morality, from core policing functions. But in the era where we are talking about morality, it makes the work very difficult because people are not looking at the realities on the ground, but they are using their moral cap to judge the situation, which goes against the response.
What steps have you taken that you think have been the most effective in getting police involved in the HIV response?
We need to explain harm reduction to the police.
As an educational institution, we our mission is to provide excellent and evidence-based training program for the police, not only the cadets in my academy, but also for the police in service. So I think that we should incorporate the training on HIV for the police into our curriculum, and we'll try to organize the workshop to disseminate the information about the role of the police in the fight against HIV for the police in the police station all around my country.
Attempting to network with the civil society and the non-governmental organizations who are actually advocating for the prevention of AIDS. Most of them are very positive to start partnering with the police. We have also started rolling out these programs of of interventions to very senior officers within the police brackets to ensure that our senior police officers understand the kind of work the civil society is doing when it comes to human rights. And the good thing about it is they are very positive about it and would like to embrace it.
The steps I took as a police officer to make this kind of activity more successful is to engage police officers with this infected population so that they meet very frequent, they understand each other's positive side, limitations, and slowly the humanitarian thoughts develop between two parties, and that will bring harmony, that will bring understanding, that will create assistance to each other. So that is the first and foremost thing we need to do, to bring these parties together by formal forum, informal interactions, understanding them, asking them their troubles, and telling them what is making police officers' job more challenging because of their behavior, if there are any. That will certainly bring changes.
We started to educate police from the end of 1990s, so almost 15 years we are doing the police literacy on harm reduction issues. So we started from very, very simple steps. As NGO member came to the police station during the interview of the police and explains them what is necessary to do. But the result was very low because former drug users, former sex workers, for police it's unfortunately or fortunately police are not accept them as a teacher. So the second step was we started to find the key person from the police, high-level police or middle-level police officers, and to educate them how to do the training for police. Finally, they started to do the training, and they invited the representative of vulnerable group, even the former drug users, who are adequate, let me say, who can do it. So we started to invite them, and together, when we combine our effort together, it's giving us a much more result, and coefficient of our activity became higher.
One of the most effective ways of getting the police involved is about the issue of condoms, where in other jurisdictions, policemen use the possession of condoms as a basis for arresting people and actually prosecuting people. Because the moment you do that, it makes the use of condom reduce, thereby aggravating the issues of HIV, because people will not be ready to use condoms because they might get caught and the police will use condoms as evidence. What we have done is that we have actually encouraged police to use condoms, and we actually go to the extent of supplying them the condoms by designing and providing appropriate pouches where the condoms are inside that we give to all policemen. I can show you my condom pairs that I use always with condoms inside. Yes, so that is my condom pouch, and there are condoms inside always everywhere. I'm not promoting immorality in the police, but it's just a means of saying that anybody at all can use condom as a way of a first line protection. So if you have that one, you don't have any moral justification to go after somebody because the person is using condom. And that has actually promoted or encouraged the use of condoms amongst key populations in Ghana. And I think it's a very good practice.